I went into this last night, and it's now day 2 of the con. There's even a Dunkin' Donuts inside there, and a change of clothes. Pretty good wardrobe. Let's get to day 2 of the con. It's day 2, everybody, and there's already a Dalek on the loose. This place is infested with Daleks everywhere. Where is the doctor? We need the doctor.
So, at Terrificon, right as you walk in, there is this giant statue of Thanos on skulls. It is amazing. So we got to have an interview with the creator. Great guy, and he did an amazing job.
You here? So I'm here with
Kyle.
Okay, so Thanos. We first walk in, this is the first thing we saw when we got to Terrificon, and obviously we all pressed the button. I was the one who survived today. Ben was the one who survived yesterday out of the whole group. So tell us a story about this giant figure of Thanos, because I heard it was quite a project.
It's quite a project. We worked on him off and on for about 2 months. We've been doing giant things for Terrificon for about 3-4 years now. I believe this is our 4th year. We made a giant Attack on Titan head. We made the giant Galactus head. And then it just sort of progressed, and they're like, we're moving into a new space. We have 4 times the size. We need something big. And so they came to us and said, Thanos, he's the guy of the year. Let's do him. And so we said, all right, how big? How big can you go? And we started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we actually saw a comic where he is standing on a pile of skulls on the cover, and we said that would be perfect. It'd give us our base, make sure he's not wobbly, and add to the overall aesthetic.
Awesome, yeah, because it had been, oh man, it's just so huge.
It's huge.
And it's such a presence. It was really cool to have this like right when you walk in. So yeah, it just shows a testament to what you're capable of doing as an artist. So besides Thanos, what else are you working on these days?
Right now, so we finish up at Terrificon. Yep. We go back, we have a 20-foot spider we're making that will, for a, what do you call that, a haunted hayride. So the hayride will actually go under the spider, and he'll spit on you, the arms will drop down like he's attacking you. We're doing a 4-piece art installation for a place down in Brooklyn, a 20-foot wall of intestines for them, some lava and some UFOs. And then we've got some haunted house stuff, some Egyptian wall panels. We're doing a cutout of an Aston Martin for a bar mitzvah. We're doing some private Halloween parties, and then bunch of big stuff.
You guys take on a lot of big projects. That's awesome. So remember to check out links below for all their work. And if you haven't been to Terrificon, hopefully this comes back next year or whatever you guys plan to do next year, because that's just a quite presence, and we've all noticed it. And I'm sure you ask anybody at this con today, hey, meet me at Thanos, and they're going to know exactly what you're talking about. So thank you, man, for letting us know the story behind Thanos. And
absolutely, thank you so much.
See you again.
He will be back next year, maybe something else along with him.
Awesome. So I got to meet the creators of one of the games I got to play a long time ago at a holiday event called Schrodinger's Cat. Really, really fun game. If you've never checked out, you need to play it. But I got to meet the creators, 9-Level Games, and what they're working on now. And they're working on this comic book game where you create a comic book as you're playing and you kind of compete. Just check out the interview, and just can't wait for this to come out. Okay. Q here. So ran into the people that made one of the games that I had a whole lot of fun playing on a holiday evening one time, Schrodinger's Cat, where we all turned into theoretical physicists. By the end of the day, it was so much fun. We were about dying laughing, even though we were talking about dead cats in a box. But that's beside the point. But we're here with one of the creators and what they're working on currently.
Hey. Hi, I'm Chris. Our next game that's coming out is September the 25th on Kickstarter. It's called Meeple Party. But our next game after that is called Issues. And Issues is a game that is kind of unique. So in this game, you play you and your friends you create a fictitious comic book company. And then once you've created that company, you're going to set up some edicts about what you're going to do as a comic book company, and then it becomes a storytelling game where you actually create comic books, not in order. So I'll just ask you guys some questions, and we'll figure out. I'll show you how some of this works. If we were going to play a game of issues and you wanted to do a comic book, what year would you want the comic book company to start?
I'll do 1984.
1984. So if you look down here, we have these are the different ages of comic books, right? And 1984 puts us firmly in the Bronze Age. So what we would do is we would go to 1984. So this would be the beginning of our book. Would be 1984. And then when does the book end? When does our company end?
1993.
1993. So 1993 is right in the beginning of the Iron Age. So what we did was we put together this piece, and now we have this very small deck of cards that represents all the possible years that that comic could have been in.
Okay.
And then what we do is we shuffle this up. And then we're going to have points where we're actually going to pull cards, and they are going to tell us what month and what year that we're dealing with. And then, so like this would be September of 1984. We'd figure out what issue number that is, and it's very simple to do. And then we would use this that says that in this issue, a new era starts here, right? So we have this prompt, and we're going to use that to, we're going to take some notes, and we're going to basically go back and forth based on what roles we are to tell a story. Then we're actually going to draw a little cover, and then we're going to fold it over, and what we end up with is these tiny little comic books. And we create a line of these, which we call the line, and it's like the old days. This game was inspired. I'm old. When you used to have to go into a comic book store to find issues in between, right? You'd be like, I have issue 83 and I have issue 87, but I've never seen issue 84, 5, or 6, and I don't know what happened in those issues. And so in this game, the first issue we might make is somewhere in the middle of the run, and then we come back later, and the next issue is early, right? And so now we from a story perspective, we have to we know what's going to happen at some point in the future, but we don't know how we get there. And then depending on how much time you're going to be and how many people you can have multiple books, you can run the same company. At conventions a lot, what we'll do is we'll run a big game for like 12 or 15 people, and it'll be 3 or 4 different books that are all being created by the same company. And so then the books can have crossovers, and so.
It also seems like you've inadvertently created like a source for people to be creative. If they want to tell a story, I could see someone distinctly use this as a platform and go, wow, now we have like a form we can use and we can start making this.
Oh yeah, I mean,
that's brilliant. You have like 2 things in one, and because I'm a creator and that's the first thing I see about it.
I think that definitely people could, it's a way to play with some ideas.
Yeah.
Another thing that we've seen it used for is as a framing device for a role-playing campaign. So if you're into
awesome.
Superhero role-playing games, you tell a piece, and then you have this piece, and then you're like, hey, guys, let's go play a role-playing session of the next issue, right? Like we have that set up, right? So it lets you do some of the things that you want to do in comic books that you wouldn't normally do in a role-playing game.
Yeah.
So, and everything's going to come. This will be hitting Kickstarter in the first quarter of next year. It'll be everything in a box, and it comes with some pencils, the cards that you need to play, and then like a very basic thing with some how to generate random superheroes in case what you're looking for is a different kind of experience.
Yeah. So,
and then a couple of comic books. Actually, the rules will be in actual comic books.
Actual comic book? Oh, that's awesome. So this has been 9th Level Games. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to try to help fund this Kickstarter when it comes out, because we're going to have a lot of fun trying to do this in the studio, and probably could help us with some of our adventures as far as things that we create on our YouTube channel. We hope you guys head over there, go check this out at the beginning of the year, and anything else 9th Level Games has done also, especially Schrodinger's Cat. You'll just love that game, and we're going to do it on stream at some point, and we're all going to hopefully dress as theoretical physicists, and you all are going to die laughing. So, till then. So Bazinga's getting another refill. So what flavor this time?
Vanilla and orange.
Vanilla and orange.
So creamsicle. If you want to know more about this, check out Big Benoit 589's channel for the full review.
So we haphazardly kind of bumped into this artist at the end of day one. We got an interview for day two. So one of them names Ben Goldsmith and Ken Perry. These two guys, obviously they're collaborators. One's a writer, one's an artist, which is a perfect combination. Really cool. They work for Source Point Press. Makes really cool horror sci-fi-ish comic books, which is really right up my alley. So I'm definitely gonna be checking these guys out and all their work they're doing. And then when I got to really talking to Ken Perry, the main artist there, well, one of the artists, there's a lot of artists that work for them. I really got to look at a lot of his stuff, and he was like really appreciative, like, wow, I'm glad I'm glad for the appreciation. And he gave me a sketch that he signed for free, and I was like, wow, thank you. So I'm really appreciative. That's really cool to have that from an artist. Source Point Press, and we're here with...
Oh, Ben Goldsmith. Hey guys, sorry about that. I was doing a thing.
That's right. So you guys deal in sci-fi horror comics.
Yeah, we do.
Which is awesome. It's right up my alley, and I've already seen a few you might want to pick up.
Cool. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, we do all sci-fi horror. Right now we're working with Comics Experience. So Andy Schmidt, he was the editor in Marvel during Civil War, during Annihilation. He started this class online for Comics Experience where you can learn how to make comics from actual creators. Riley Brown, Scott Snyder, like you actually work with the people who are in there. And now Source Point Press, on top of doing original content like Holliston, based off the TV show from Adam Green to Hatchet, Victor Crowley. This is a brand new story from him that we work on. You know, on top of doing stuff like that, on top of doing stuff like Previews Featured Item of the Week Morte, which is a completely silent story. No word bubbles whatsoever about the last boy alive after some world-shattering event going about his day. Very dramatic, very wonderful. After things like that, we are now publishing the Comics Experience stuff too, which is all from the classes. So we have guys who came up, Family Graves, these were guys who went through the classes, worked their way up, and we actually are now printing their comic, which is rad. Ken Perry is here. He's talking with some of the fans, some of the people that he's working with, which is what we all do here at Source Point Press. But he's an artist from Wretched Things. Once again, came up through the class. So that's what we do here, man. We do all original content. We just started doing games too. So board games, these ones are the first group. They came over from Japan. We're actually working on a seance room board game. Oh, I didn't mention, I write the seance room.
So I saw this is interesting right here. Crow's Overkill.
Yep.
So what's the premise behind this game? This really got me intrigued. And obviously the first thing I thought was the Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds. But yeah.
Well, I was going to say, which of those two words is the operating word for you?
Yeah.
Crows or the overkill?
Oh, well, both. Crows, probably both. So tell us about this game.
Sure, man. So Crow's Overkill is actually based on an old song that is an actual song from ancient Japan, where the idea was when all the crows go away, a guy had to leave the love of his life. That was the song. So this is a story where you try to stave off the crows leaving from your fence as long as possible to elongate the amount of time you're with your love.
Oh wow, that's kind of dark, but yeah, that works.
Well, it's called Overkill. Yeah. And it's nice too because it's a two-player game, so you can actually play it, one-on-one with someone. We have a couple games that are just two-player. It's huge if you're into board games. You understand that tabletop, that sometimes those two-player games are hard to come by.
Yeah. It's an original idea. It's great. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. Perhaps we'll feature it on the stream one day, because you do a lot of card games. And I have to ask about this artwork, though, because this is some impressive artwork right
here. Rad. You know what? This is Ken Perry's art. First thing I'm gonna do is get him to come over and tell you about it. Ken, tag. That's not your fault.
So, how you doing? Ken, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're Ken Perry. So, tell me about your artwork, because I love, yeah. Obviously, I'm a huge cat person, but besides that, I'm also an artist. And when I see other people's art, I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. Even though I do my own thing, you're always impressed by other people's artwork because they do things you can't do a lot of times. And this is absolutely amazing. So, where'd your inspiration come from?
For this, I think a lot of it had to do with like Secret of Nim and probably I lost the rabbits there. Watership Down. Sorry.
Okay.
Too much going on in my head right now. Yeah, it was definitely the inspiration for it, but we wanted to be dark and creepy. The house was supposed to be an old, dusty Victorian, so I did like a lot of splatters to make it look like dust.
Yeah. And obviously, I'm not sure if this is where the first thing I think of is H.P. Lovecraft, because that's like one of the first things. Yeah. And I've met so many artists that are inspired by H.P. It's like it goes back to way back to this horror genre that was just coming up, and he was like really the only one doing it.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, and now so many artists have took his writing and brought it up, and I've seen so many different inspiration links. Obviously, you have your own inspiration from, and that's really what it makes them. Writing is one thing, and then an artist can take that and just bring it to life. And with you making this stuff like come to life, it's amazing.
It was just fun to play with the different characters. Like, you know, you have to give the mice and the cat like its own feel. For me, the cat was kind of like a dragon that they had to fight against, so I never wanted him fully in the frame. So he was always larger than them. Yeah, you had to play with the scales of the mice and the vermin being small, but in like a human environment. So it was constantly playing back and forth with the scales.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
So you work on a number of these comics, right? So
I did Wretched for them. I've done a couple other independent things. I'm working on a new project now that's also an independent. So.
And I have one question I'm sure a lot of our fans are going to ask is, do you sell your prints separate of any of this work?
Sometimes we'll bundle them in. Sometimes I'll do like sketch cards for people, you know, just as a thank you if they buy a bunch of books. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I do commission stuff too. So.
Yeah, because I know for me, like I like collect a lot of like my favorite artists' work, and I'll put it up and use it as inspiration material when you're doing your own creating. Yeah, it's awesome. So it's been cute. Make sure to check out the links below for Source Point Press and everything they create and all the people that go in to collaborate to make this happen. And just definitely got to check these guys out. Artwork is stunning. Obviously the writing is just as good. Definitely go, if you're a fan of horror comics and sci-fi, go check them out.
Thank you.
So we're taking a little break here, gonna play a game, Joking Hazard for a little bit, and then we're gonna be going to a one last panel and seeing how that goes. And we're having a good time for day 2. It's good. We've got some good interviews. We were on somebody's live stream, which was fun, and we'll see you in a bit.
It's actually Venom. If Venom is done right, he should be like this drooling monster, you know, real. And I'm hoping the new movie is going to portray him in that kind
Who's your favorite artist of Venom?
Actually, I got to work on a Venom miniseries with Angel Medina, and he did the total.
So, we saw the Ghost Rider there. He was angry. He was as angry as the Punisher. Maybe he was Frank Castle. Oh my God! It's Frank Castle. Come on! Get out of here! It's not Frank Castle.
Frank Castle is a Punisher. It's all he is. Get it goddamn right.
End of day 2. As you can see, this place is filled with absolutely amazing artwork. Hope you guys enjoyed all of the footage we had, all the wonderful artists that we actually talked to, and board game developers, well, card game developers, and that maker of Thanos. That's absolutely amazing piece of artwork. Hope you enjoyed it. But next con's coming up is Retro World Expo. We hope to see you all there. We will be there both days, all day. So that's absolutely going to be amazing. But for me, I gotta go catch my TARDIS because someone's going to steal it if I don't take it to the next video. So see you then.
We got to watch out for Dovros, so let's go. Well, we had a great time. We really enjoyed ourselves. The celebrities there were really cool. All the artists and everything. The cosplayers were great. We had a really good time. We can't wait till next year. And yeah.
So wrapping up day 2. Our last thing we did was we went to this panel for the Angry Geek show, which was pretty cool. It was like their show ends up live, which is really neat. It's kind of something I want to do myself when we get a panel. But it was really fun. I really enjoyed meeting all the artists that I met because that's like really big to me because I love meeting new artists. As an artist myself, you get inspiration from everywhere and you can see things that you can't do. But that's just how it always is. You're always envying someone else when you're an artist because people can do some crazy stuff. So really hope you guys enjoyed this video. This has been a really fun time at Terrificon. We'll hopefully be back there next year, covering as much as we can as always. But remember, the next thing we're going to be at is Retro World Expo in just 2 weeks. So that coverage will be up shortly after that happens. But if you haven't got your ticket yet, go get your ticket. and get to Retro World Expo, and hopefully we catch you there. But until next time, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember to hit that bell, because that gives you notifications when our next video goes up live. You can check it out as soon as possible. See you there.
I gotta get out of here. $20.